The signal was older than Earth's oldest ocean. It did not arrive as a message, or a warning, or a threat. It arrived as a pattern, a mathematical scar stitched into the background radiation between dying stars. For decades, humanity mistook it for cosmic noise, static, randomness, the leftover whisper of a violent universe expanding into silence, until someone noticed it was repeating. Not perfectly, not mechanically, but deliberately. The discovery came from the edge of mapped space, where human deep-range observatories drifted beyond the safe glow of colonized systems. A research vessel, Alethea, had been cataloguing gravitational anomalies near a collapsed star cluster when its AI flagged the pattern again, this time embedded within neutrino flux data. The signal was not broadcasting, it was waiting. Coordinates emerged slowly, decrypted layer by layer, like a lock designed to test intelligence itself. Prime numbers, stellar cartography, biological constants. Whoever encoded it had expected curiosity, had expected evolution, had expected something like humanity. 3 months later, the excavation fleet arrived. They found no beacon, no satellite, no alien megastructure stretching dramatically across the void. Instead, hidden within the debris field of a long-dead star, there was a vault. Small compared to human constructs, almost modest, a smooth obsidian monolith suspended in vacuum, untouched by micrometeor impacts and immune to radiation decay. It did not rotate. It did not emit energy. It simply endured. When human drones approached, the surface reacted not with defense, but with recognition. The structure unfolded like liquid shadow, revealing geometric apertures that pulsed faintly as if responding to biological presence. The Alethea's AI was granted access, and that was when humanity discovered it had never been alone. The interior was not a room but an archive, a layered quantum repository storing records older than most galaxies' spiral arms. Civilizations were catalogued with clinical precision, evolutionary pathways mapped, genetic structures annotated, sociological outcomes predicted and recorded. It was not a history, it was a database, a list. Species indexed numerically, specimen 01, specimen 02, specimen 03, thousands of entries. Some marked, terminated. Others, self-extinct. Several, non-viable, structural instability. The deeper the AI searched, the more disturbing the pattern became. Each species had not simply evolved. They had been designed, adjusted, seeded, observed. Humanity's scientists watched in silence as the AI translated a recurring designation, Experimental Ecosystem Series, Galactic Stability Initiative. The galaxy was not accidental, it was curated. Then the AI reached a recently updated entry. Specimen 17. Origin, Sol System, Third Planet. Biological complexity, high. Technological acceleration, rapid. Emotional variability, extreme. There was a pause in the translation algorithms, as if the system itself hesitated, and then the final line resolved. Assessment, unstable. Empathy levels exceed optimal survival parameters. Long-term viability doubtful. Silence filled the bridge of the Aletheia. Humans had always wondered if they were being watched. They had never imagined being graded. The archive did not frame humanity as conquerors or chosen inheritors of the stars. It described them as an experiment, one still in progress. And buried beneath the designation of unstable was a timestamp. Not ancient, not dormant, active. Whatever had created the vault, whatever had engineered entire civilizations, it was still observing. Out beyond the debris field, a distant star flickered unnaturally, its light bending in subtle, impossible ways. The anomaly had not yet been noticed by human astronomers, but the archive had recorded it under a separate heading, Phase Conclusion Protocol. And beside it, a final notation, Specimen 17, Final Evaluation Pending. The archive did not dramatize its findings, it did not accuse, it did not explain, it simply revealed. As the Alethea's AI descended deeper into the quantum lattice, new classifications unfolded, not in chronological order, but by design iteration. Each species had been an adjustment of the last, variables altered, traits refined, weaknesses removed. Efficiency increased, emotion decreased. Specimen 03 had been hyper-cooperative, but territorially passive, and they perished when confronted by an external predatory civilization. Specimen 08 demonstrated extraordinary intelligence, developing interstellar travel within a fraction of humanity's timeline. They eliminated internal conflict through neurological modification, suppressing aggression, jealousy, and irrational attachment. They lasted 9 centuries. Their extinction note was brief. Civilization stagnated, innovation declined, adaptive capacity insufficient under anomaly pressure. Specimen 11 was optimized for resilience, enhanced musculature, accelerated healing, heightened threat response. They conquered 3 neighboring systems within 2 centuries. Their file ended differently. Expansion successful. Interspecies empathy absent. Internal power consolidation led to systemic collapse. Again and again, the pattern repeated. When emotion was reduced, cooperation became conditional. When aggression was removed, survival weakened. When logic dominated, compassion disappeared. And when compassion disappeared, so did long-term stability. The alien creators had attempted balance through subtraction, trimming volatility, suppressing unpredictability, minimizing what they labeled chaotic empathy. They believed survival required precision. They believed feeling was inefficiency. The archive referred to it clinically as emotional noise. Human scientists exchanged uneasy glances as the AI highlighted a comparative chart. Among all catalogued species, humanity ranked highest in emotional variability: fear, love, anger, hope, grief, fluctuating wildly across cultures, generations, and individuals. From a design perspective, it was disorder. From the creator's perspective, it was instability. Specimen 17 had required minimal genetic adjustment. The archive confirmed that Earth's biosphere had been seeded subtly: microbial nudges, environmental calibrations, small interventions across millions of years to encourage neural complexity. Humanity had not been handcrafted. It had been guided, observed from a distance, allowed to grow. A long-term experiment. Unlike earlier species, humans were not aggressively optimized. No cognitive dampeners, no emotional inhibitors, no built-in compliance structures. The file suggested debate among the creators themselves. Fragments of untranslated commentary surfaced. Retain emotional amplitude. Instability risk, unacceptable. Long-term adaptability may require volatility. It had not been unanimous. Humanity, it seemed, was a compromise. A final attempt to test a controversial hypothesis. Could a species survive precisely because it was unpredictable? The answer, according to preliminary assessments, was leaning toward no. Additional logs revealed the purpose of the Galactic Stability Initiative. The creators had not engineered life for conquest or curiosity alone. They were preparing for something cyclical, something catastrophic. Across multiple galactic sectors, extinction patterns aligned every few million years, not natural gamma bursts, not supernova chains, but something more coordinated, a force that propagated between star systems, feeding on energy gradients and destabilizing stellar cores. The archive labeled it the Entropy Wave. Earlier, species had encountered early-stage manifestations. Each responded logically. They fortified their strongest systems, abandoned vulnerable colonies, calculated survival probability, and concentrated resources where odds were highest. Each time, the entropy wave adapted. Each time, calculated preservation failed. The creator's own fate was partially obscured, entire data clusters corrupted or deliberately sealed, but the implication was clear. Even they had not survived unaltered. Humanity was not merely being observed for curiosity. It was being evaluated for resistance. The anomaly detected near the dead star cluster matched early signatures recorded in ancient logs: the subtle stellar flicker, the gravitational distortion, the slow, almost patient consumption of nuclear stability. The entropy wave was returning. And for the first time in the archive's vast timeline, a species with unchecked empathy, irrational cooperation, and volatile emotional depth had reached interstellar capacity at precisely the wrong, or right, moment. Specimen 17's status updated automatically as the AI continued decoding. Technological threshold achieved. Interspecies contact imminent. Emotional interference remains high. Then a final annotation appeared beneath the evaluation summary. If empathy persists beyond self-interest parameters, anomaly outcome may diverge from predictive models. It was not optimism, it was uncertainty. For billions of years, the creators had tried to engineer control. Now the galaxy faced a force that devoured control itself, and humanity, unstable, compassionate, inefficient humanity, was about to encounter civilizations stripped of the very trait the archive considered a flaw. Outside the observation deck, the distant star flickered again. This time, it dimmed. The first distress signal did not come from Earth. It came from a civilization catalogued in the archive as Specimen 12. They called themselves the Virelian Accord, a species engineered for strategic brilliance and resource optimization. Their cities were geometric wonders, orbiting a binary star system, now trembling under entropy wave distortion. Stellar flares erupted in unnatural sequences. Gravity wells pulsed like dying heartbeats. The Accord transmitted a single calculated message to surrounding systems: evacuation priority, core population clusters only, peripheral worlds expendable. It was not cruelty, it was mathematics. Human long-range sensors intercepted the transmission, along with another signal layered beneath it, faint, chaotic, unencrypted. A civilian broadcast. Children's voices. Uncoordinated pleas. Peripheral worlds had been written off. The entropy wave advanced methodically, destabilizing stars in cascading sequence. Entire systems dimmed like candles, suffocated by invisible wind. Every engineered species responded as predicted. Fortify the strong, sacrifice the weak, preserve the core. Survival probability maximized. Empathy minimized. Earth's Interstellar Council convened within hours. Projections filled orbital screens. Fleet capacity insufficient for full evacuation. Fuel reserves stretched thin. Defensive grids not calibrated for stellar-scale anomaly manipulation. Saving the Virelian peripheral colonies offered no technological gain, no strategic advantage. The Accord had never shared research freely. They negotiated only when outcomes favored them. Human analysts ran the numbers. Intervention reduced Earth's survival probability by 38%. Non-intervention preserved long-term security. Silence filled the chamber. History could have tilted there, quietly, rationally, toward self-preservation. Instead, something older than strategy surfaced. Images flooded global networks, Virelian habitats fracturing under tidal gravitational stress, civilian ships too small to outrun stellar collapse, a species engineered to suppress emotional distress now facing extinction with eerie composure. No riots, no screams. Only resignation. Humanity reacted differently. Volunteers filled enlistment queues before authorization was granted. Civilian transport vessels were retrofitted for mass evacuation. Medical ships prepared for biological incompatibility risks. The Council's final vote was not unanimous. It did not need to be. The directive transmitted across human space was simple. We do not abandon sentient life. Human fleets arrived within days. Defensive cruisers positioned themselves between destabilizing stars and evacuation corridors, absorbing radiation surges that warped hull plating beyond safe thresholds. Virelian commanders protested that intervention decreased human survival probability. The human response was simple. Understood. Joint evacuation efforts began. Human crews entered collapsing habitats, carrying beings who had once negotiated with cold detachment. There was no resource contract, no alliance guarantee, only action. As the entropy wave intensified, something unexpected occurred. It slowed. Where human ships clustered around vulnerable populations, weaving overlapping energy shields, not for themselves, but for others, the anomaly's propagation patterns fluctuated, not halted, not defeated, disrupted. Within the ancient archive, predictive systems activated, deviation detected. Deep inside, sealed data layers, dormant protocols awakened. The creators were watching. For the first time in recorded galactic cycles, a species was not consolidating power or isolating strength. It was dispersing it. Human vessels redistributed energy reserves dynamically, prioritizing the weakest targets rather than the highest value assets. Rescue algorithms incorporated emotional weighting, variables earlier species had eliminated as inefficiencies. The entropy wave adapted again, but unpredictability met unpredictability. Where logic had been anticipated, empathy introduced chaos. Sacrificial shielding cascades created interference harmonics the anomaly could not immediately compensate for. Human captains made irrational maneuvers to shield evacuation craft, decisions no survival-optimized species would calculate. The wave fractured along those inconsistencies, not destroyed, destabilized. Time extended. Enough time. Peripheral populations escaped beyond the primary collapse radius. The binary star imploded, but fewer lives were consumed than any prior extinction model predicted. In the archive, Specimen 17's status flickered. Ancient commentary protocols unlocked. Empathy exceeds destabilization threshold. Self-sacrificial distribution disrupts entropy propagation vectors. Conclusion: emotional amplitude enhances adaptive resilience. Across hidden observation networks, a final evaluation was recorded. For billions of years, the creators had sought a species stable enough to endure the wave. They removed fear, removed attachment, removed compassion. Each time, survival narrowed. This time, instability widened possibility. Specimen 17 was reclassified, not unstable, catalytic. Humanity had not altered the course of extinction through superior force or advanced technology or perfect design, but by protecting those who offered nothing in return. And in doing so, they changed the mathematics of the galaxy itself.